Okay, so I'm going to give a brief overview of IxNetwork. So IxNetwork is installed on a Windows computer. There's client software that you need to download from our website, ixiacom.com. Once it's installed, you'll have an application, just like any Windows application. You'll have IxNetwork program group, and then you'll launch IxNetwork. So IxNetwork, this is our overview panel, and you have a quick launch tab frame here. And basically you'll do ports, protocols, and then traffic. So first we need to configure our ports. Now you can do offline if you don't have a chassis available. You can add offline ports, and this allows you to configure your interfaces and apply them to a chassis when you need them. So what we'll do is we'll use 2 ports from my chassis. So it's using the management IP of the chassis. In this case, I'm using a virtual chassis. So I can add 2 ports. And you can go ahead and name these whatever you want for reference purposes. I'll just leave them default. Once the ports are configured, you'll have a status here. And once you have a green state, that means obviously the ports are up and ready to go. So now we need to configure interfaces for these particular ports. I'm just going to select 2 ports and configure one simple IP address for each port. So I'm going to select these, and I'm going to add IPv4. You can add IPv6. You can add multiple different types of protocols. You can go through add protocols, and we have a list of protocols. You can run one of our wizards, and that will help you configure your routing and switching protocols. So I'll go ahead and enable interfaces here. I'm basically going to do a back-to-back, well, I'm doing a back-to-back test. And I'm going to enable these. I should get a link. So now my next thing is to create traffic. So we have different traffic wizards. I'll go ahead and select the L23 traffic wizard. And this brings up the advanced traffic wizard. So you have the interfaces that I configured. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that interface, and then I wanted to go to my second interface here. I create an endpoint, and then the next step is to define what traffic I want to do. So you have packet encapsulation. You can go in here and select the different types of protocols. We have a list of protocols, like we can do UDP, TCP, RTP, etc. So we can do those. We can go and add that, and you can see we have header information. So what I want to do is I want to create, let's say, IP precedence. So what I do is I go into IP priority, I select toss, and I can go into the precedence and create a list. So I want one to be routine, flash, and let's say critical. So different three different toss settings. I'll OK that, and I should have routine, flash, routine, and critical. Looks like I have 4 of them. So let's delete this one here. So we'll just select that, routine, flash, critical. So the next step is we're going to have to do what we call flow groups, and this allows us to identify traffic, especially QoS. So what we'll do is we'll create a flow group based on precedence. Click on next. here you would set your frame sizes. Just to get over, I need to add additional packet overhead, and I can leave that at 64, and I'll get a brief message, and I'll show you why. The next is we could set up rates. We could do 10%, or you can do packet rate. How you want it, interleave, sequential, do you want the continuous, or different fixed packet counts. So you have control of all this. The next step is flow tracking. So we're going to track by traffic item, precedence, source, and destination. But we have different tracking here, and up to a number of bits that we can track on. We also have ingress tracking for, let's say, remapping of QoS, VLAN, priority, tagging, etc. So we can click on next. This is our MPLS, which is not applicable here, so we're not going to use this. And what we want to do is we want to validate or look at the flows. So we have 3 flows, and we want to validate that. So here you could see that it gave me an error message saying that it increased my basic 64 frame bytes or 64 bytes to 78 bytes. So it automatically determined that I had a minimum frame size that wasn't correct, so it automatically corrects that for you. So click on finish, and here we have the traffic mix here, routine, flash, critical. So then we can start our traffic here. And we have a random frame size going from 78 to 518. We also have a little data integrity warning. It's not supported since I'm running VM ports. So then when we go into our traffic selects, and traffic views and statistics, we can go into the views. We want to look at flow statistics and flow detective. We apply this, and within some time you'll get a flow detective and flow statistics coming out. So you have, your loss, frame sizes, frame based on your precedence. Flow detective, you can do packet loss. Oops. Let's see, receive packets. You get your worst performers here. So if you have multiple flows going through, you can validate or see what flows are suffering. Alright, so that's pretty much a quick overview of IxNetwork. If you have any questions, let me know.